Welcome to A Woman's Work, where we'll be exploring ways to go from surviving to thriving while balancing all the demands of womanhood in today's society. Hello, and thank you for joining me once again. This is your host, Samara James. Today's episode is going to be a body basics episode. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this show is all about promoting holistic wellness of the mind, the body, and the spirit. And one of the ways that we can promote whole wellness is through taking care of our temple. So in today's body basics episode, I have a special guest with me, Dr. Lucy Deason. Dr. Lucy is the owner of Dr. Lucy's Alkaline Foods and More. She's a health scientist, an herbalist, and a holistic health practitioner. Dr. Lucy believes that her health is her wealth, just like I do, and she's been on the holistic health journey for over 30 years now, and it shows. She looks amazing. Dr. Lucy and I met a few months ago, and she introduced me to a unique way to use Himalayan pink salt to transform my health through something called Soleil. It's so inexpensive. All you do is take Himalayan pink salt, infuse it in water, and have a little every day. It's as simple as that. If you want to know more about how to implement Himalayan pink salt into your wellness program, as well as all the other things that we get into in this interview, please keep listening. Dr. Lucy talks about her Optimum Health program, which she's used to help people wean themselves off of medication and get rid of excess weight. We talk about so many wonderful things during this interview. About halfway through, you're going to hear a dog barking in the background. Dr. Lucy and I were so involved in our conversation and enjoying our discussion so much that we hardly noticed, and I hope that it's the same for you. I'm going to include Dr. Lucy's contact information on the show notes at my website, highfrequencywoman.com. And I'll point you to Dr. Lucy's Facebook page and her website as well if you'd like to connect with her after the show. If you got feedback or additional questions about anything we talk about, again, let me know through the website, highfrequencywoman.com, and I really hope you guys enjoy this conversation as much as Dr. Lucy and I did. Hi, Lucy. I'm so happy to be with you today.
Thank you for having me, Samara. I'm also excited about this interview.
Great. Is there anything you want to add to that intro to let people know who you are and what it is that you're about?
Sure. I've always been passionate about health, and I took it very seriously when my daughter was diagnosed with Crohn's disease about 7 years ago. The doctors didn't have they didn't know the cause nor the cure. They simply wanted to treat her with some really dangerous meds. I believe that there was a healthier, natural way to go about addressing that. And fortunately, over the time, I figured that out. So that's how I've really become more passionate about holistic health.
That's wonderful. So you said you've been on your holistic health journey for over 30 years. What sparked your interest in health and wellness those 30 years ago?
It's a good question. It just came natural to me. Before they said cigarettes were bad for you, my mom was a smoker and I would hide her cigarettes. Somehow I just felt it wasn't a good thing. I didn't like the smell of it. So that it pretty much started when I was a kid. I took health serious when I turned 16, started exercising, working out. I'm the oldest of 7 children. And like I said, it just came naturally to me. I've always felt that health was important. And nowadays it's even more important.
Definitely. So would you say before you got interested in health and wellness, you had like the typical upbringing? I know all those years ago, fast food wasn't as prevalent, but we still didn't always in our Black households have the healthiest diets and habits. So would you say that your upbringing was typical and then you just kind of had a change in attitude?
I would say it was not typical, actually. Actually, my grandmother grew up on a farm, and she moved to Detroit where she had a really gigantic backyard and the whole yard was a garden. And she had fruit trees, and so what I had was I grew up in the country in the city.
Okay.
So we ate canned food, got a lot of home cooking, and so I grew up on that as opposed to the fast foods and the restaurant food that you guys are now
very accustomed to.
Very, very accustomed to.
I see. So from your upbringing with your grandmother, with the garden, and your change of heart at 16, and now with your daughter facing Crohn's disease and having to address that, what would you say is your current philosophy on health and wellness?
Food is either your poison or your medicine. It starts with the food. Everything we put in our mouth is either going to contribute to our health or contribute to our demise in terms of disease. And so, for all of us, we need to think about the water we're drinking. We need to think about the foods we're putting in our bodies. We definitely need to think about stress and managing that.
Okay. So I know you developed your philosophy over several years, but for those of us who may be listening and are not familiar with some of the alternatives to the way that we do things conventionally, what are some quick things that you think people can start with to kind of change how they're addressing their health in everyday life?
Okay, well, first and foremost, we definitely need to make sure we're getting the right kind of water in us. Alkaline water is so important, and clean alkaline water. Our body's 70% of water or more, so we definitely need to make sure we're getting the right water in it to get toxins out of us. And then staying away from the microwave. I know it has become commonplace,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's really awful. But in place of the microwave, people can use toaster ovens. They're pretty quick with heating food up, but they don't zap the nutrients like the microwave does. The microwave actually changes the molecular structure of the food, and so our body doesn't recognize it, and so we get no nutrients from it at all.
Okay.
One other important thing I would highly recommend everybody get on is Himalayan pink salt. It has 84 minerals our body needs. So if you get nothing else from this interview, I want people to know how important minerals are. Our bodies are made of minerals, but it can't replenish all the minerals that it needs. And so we want to get the alkaline food, the alkaline water, and the Himalayan pink salt in us to replenish those minerals. Because when we get the minerals in us, our body can start healing itself. I know they've emphasized vitamins, but minerals, I would say, are equally or even more important.
I agree, and that's something that I've learned late in my health and wellness journey. So at the beginning of my journey, I was kind of focused on eliminating things, and now at this point, I'm realizing that the more we incorporate as far as minerals and healthy foods, the healthier we are. So naturally, if we incorporate those things, our body can do what it's supposed to do, and we don't have the cravings or the desire for some of the more unhealthy things.
Absolutely.
So we met at the farmer's market, at the Grand Parkway Farmer's Market, and that's where you introduced me to the Soleil, the Himalayan pink salt water. And I've since gone home and made a jar for myself. And for those of you who are listening, I can include a link to more information about that in the show notes. But it's something where you let the salt soak into the water and take it every day. Now, we've all been taught from I don't know how far back that salt is bad for you. So there are a lot of people out there who have blood pressure issues and things like that who are afraid of salt. What would you say about the Himalayan pink salt to those people?
Okay, the Himalayan pink salt has not been processed like the regular table salt, which does cause heart disease and high blood pressure. The Himalayan pink salt actually lowers your blood pressure. I've been able, with this therapy, to get my sister off of blood pressure medicines. She got off of it within 3 weeks of being on the Himalayan pink salt and alkaline water. So not all salt is bad. This salt actually gives you energy. I have people using it as an energy drink as opposed to those energy drinks that are out there on the market. And Samara's going to provide you guys with some notes that you can do further research on this Himalayan pink salt with the alkaline water. But it's simply, I call it a miracle prevention medicine, and I intend to take it for the rest of my life. I'm 53.
She doesn't look 53, y'all.
Thank you. I'm enjoying this therapy, ladies. I just feel energetic. I can wake up and not feel well rested, drink the Soleil, and it's like a burst of energy.
Salt water.
Salt water. I kid you not.
Amazing. So how long have you been using the Soleil?
I've been on the Soleil for about 6 months now.
Okay.
But I had did it in the past, got away from it. I'm the kind of health practitioner that dabbles and tries different things. So anything I'm promoting, I've experimented on myself with it. Went away from that, came back to it, and will not leave it ever again.
Wow, it's been that good.
That good.
So while I was being consistent with the Soleil, I was experiencing like a natural raise in energy, and I've noticed that on the days or weeks sometimes that I haven't been taking it, there's a definite difference. I've had to get back on the coffee, and it's just a matter for me. Habits are hard to establish. I've got the jar sitting there. It's a matter of just taking a spoon of it in the morning and going on about my day. Do you have any recommendations about other ways to incorporate Himalayan salt into the diet, or is this method particularly effective over others?
This is the most powerful method. Also, cook with it. You don't need to use as much of it as you would regular salt or sea salt because it's extra salty, but not in a bad way. So I find just a little bit goes a long way. And then just a general tip, because health is about, it's a lifestyle and it's a journey. And so I highly recommend that you take one thing and work on that and integrate that into your life, because I know we're all busy. Make that a habit and then work on the next thing. Don't try to do it all at once. But I would definitely start with that Soleil.
That's your biggest recommendation. Okay. Well, I'm going to try my best to continue the habit. I haven't experienced any negative side effects or anything like that when I've been using it. It's been great so far.
Wonderful.
So I know from your booth at the farmers market that you're involved in lots of different aspects of health and wellness, and there's lots of products that you offer. Can you tell us a little bit more about the other things that you make and do?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, I offer wellness services. I help have detox programs for different body systems. I help wean people off of different medications. I have, in particular, high blood pressure meds and diabetes meds. And I have an Optimum Health 30-day program, which includes the Soleil and some other modalities, where I'm having some really wonderful results with my clients. And then I have wonderful, nutritious, and delicious foods. That's my goal.
Okay. Yeah, I've tasted some of those yummy snacks that you sample out at the farmer's market. And also in the notes for this interview, I'll include the locations where Dr. Lucy has her booths set up so that you can sample her products if you're in the area. Can you tell me a little bit more about the program that you have, the 30-day Restart program? Is that what you called it?
30-day Optimum Health program.
Optimum Health. Okay.
Sure. It includes me doing a food assessment and food plan where I look at what types of foods you're eating on a regular basis, whether you're going to fast food restaurants, eating out at restaurants on a regular basis, and the like. Got some medical questions, like to know about what meds you're on, what supplements you're taking, and your lifestyle. And from that, I do a food plan where I recommend substitutes, and based upon the health goals that you put on there, I come up with a plan and priority areas that you should start working on to gradually implement these recommendations into your daily life.
And what are some of the results that you've seen from people going into the program? And
Okay. Yeah. So I've had a lady, she got on the program. She was interested in losing weight. Within the first week, she lost 12 pounds.
12 pounds
12
in
pounds.
1 week.
And she was not hungry. 12 pounds. I kid you not. The program also includes health coaching. So that's a big part of it. A lot of people tell me they can start a program, but they need a lot of support. With my program, I provide that. First 2 weeks are pretty intensive with the support. Third week or so, I'm starting to pull back to let my clients own it and run with it.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you about that because I know personally I'll start lots of programs, but without a whole lot of support, and even with support sometimes, I kind of let it fizzle out. And so I'm kind of back and forth with the things that I implement. So that sounds awesome. And
the other unique thing about my program is I know stress is a big problem for most of us. And so I also include this heart meditation in my program to help people who have really stressful jobs and a lot going on. And they find that is extremely helpful to keep them focused.
That's something that I brought up in my last Body Basics episode about fibroids. I firmly believe that stress and what's going on in our minds impacts our body directly. I mean, our bodies and our brains have this connection with our soul. and all of it goes together. And I've seen lots of examples of people who removed stress and increased their health dramatically. So, I believe that helps us to stick to programs when we eliminate stress, because stress can be, you know, something that pulls us towards the unhealthy behavior. So that's awesome.
Yes, yes, yes. I find that and where I got the heart meditation from is there's a book called The Heart Math Solution. They've been working on this for decades, and what they found is that the heart is the major organ in the body, not the brain. Believe it or not, the heart actually dictates to the brain.
Wow.
Yes, and the heart, when the heart is calm, all the other organs in the body, including the brain, resonates with the heart. When the heart is erratic because of stress, the rest of our organs are all thrown off. Our thoughts are thrown off. We're just thrown off. So we want to make sure most of the day that we're calm. And the heart meditation is a wonderful tool for doing that. Anybody can take 5 minutes, go to the restroom or some quiet place, and just do that heart meditation, get yourself calm. Then you can go deal with whatever you have going on. I find it very, very powerful.
That is amazing. And that's kind of the underlying theme for the podcast. Experiencing, optimal joy and happiness through mindfulness. And part of that is focusing on the heart and what it is that brings us peace.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. So can you tell me, you talked a little bit at the beginning about your daughter and the Crohn's disease. Can you walk me through how you guys kind of dealt with that and what's going on now?
Sure. We took it very, very hard. My daughter was in and out of hospital over a 6-year period. She had 3 major surgeries. We went through a major depression, she and I together, around this disease. The doctors didn't know the cause nor the cure, but as I said earlier, they wanted to keep medicating with steroids and a lot of powerful drugs that are really harmful to your body.
So what exactly is Crohn's disease for those who aren't familiar?
It's a digestive disease. It can affect you all the way from your mouth to the anus. It falls under inflammatory bowel syndrome. People have been hearing about IBS a lot.
Okay.
And I found that I found the cause and the cure myself. I needed to know. I ended up working on an aquaponics organic farm here for about 1.5 years. And I learned about GMO foods, hybrid, organic, and heirloom foods. And as I said earlier, food is our poison or our medicine. The GMO and the hybrid foods are causing all of these digestive problems.
Yes, they ruin the digestive system.
My goodness.
The pesticides.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's been the problem. That's what's been the problem for my daughter.
Wow.
Fortunately, lately, I did convince her to get on alkaline water.
Okay.
She's not having many flares. I can say this year, she has not had a flare. That's amazing.
After 3 major surgeries,
After
that's
3 major
a big
surgeries.
turnaround.
Huge, because she used to be in the hospital at least 2 weeks every month. And to go from that to no flares this year so far is awesome.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big change in quality of life.
Oh, absolutely.
So was the main thing that you guys implemented removing the GMOs, or what were the biggest things you think?
I think reducing her stress level. I think the alkaline water has helped her. She realizes the importance of the water at least. She's a bit skeptical of some of my other modalities right now. She's a nursing student, and so she's bought into the medical model. But she's listening because she's seeing I'm having results. I'm 53, as I said, on no meds, and she's looking
That's
around.
That's unheard of. No meds.
No meds.
Almost everybody I know is on at least one
Not
medication.
even blood pressure, nothing. And she's looking at her friends' parents, and they have a lot of stuff going on, and saying, there might be something to what my mom is doing.
Right.
So she's happier, I noticed. She's exercising. She's exercising at least 3 times a week.
Wow.
Which is also helping to reduce stress.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to see a huge turnaround with her.
That's amazing. Understanding these principles can really change the quality of your life.
Yes.
And quickly.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Yes. Yes.
So what would you say for you, your daughter, for those you work with, are some of the biggest challenges that you run into when it comes to implementing change and developing a health and wellness program?
Starting it and making it a habit. Um, for me, I guess I'm a little bit different than most people. I'm a go-getter, and I know a lot of us are, but I'm a go-getter in terms of health. I've always viewed my health as my wealth. Without that, I have nothing else. I can't enjoy life. I love to travel. I'm real active. I'm a hiker, and I need to do those things for me to have a good quality of life. And so when I find myself veering away from what I know works, my body will respond with pain.
Right.
And it's pain from not exercising. That's the weird part. It's like, okay, what's going on here? You're not working these muscles. And I go, ooh, I got some aches here, and I don't like aches and pains.
Yeah.
And the exercise takes care of that. And so it pulls me back in, and I don't really crave food. I understand that the standard American diet is making us sick and killing us. We were never supposed to eat 3 meals a day. Actually, we've become gluttons. They taught us to be gluttons. And I've learned through research and just practicing on myself and others that we should practice intermittent fasting, because when the body's not digesting food, it's healing itself. But if we're eating all of the time, the body doesn't have the time it needs to heal us. So we need to pull back on some of the overeating that we're doing. But I could just say that I'm vain also. Vanity is a part of this. I'm going to be honest.
That's a big motivator for a lot of us.
Honest. I love it when people say, wow, I can't believe you're 53.
That's one of the first things I said to you when I met you.
Yes. And I like to feel good. I don't like to walk around in pain, and I don't like taking medication. I don't like how it makes me feel. So those type of things is what you don't. So I think about what I don't want to be. And that motivates me to do this. And I do what I like to do. I love doing weightlifting.
Okay.
So doing those exercises that you love, if it's dancing, if it's swimming, all of that helps you. So you can carve out a plan based upon what you like. Eat the foods you like that are healthy, you know?
Yeah.
Make it easy for yourself. Make it fun. Instead of rewarding yourself with a night out at your favorite restaurant, reward yourself with a trip. Go have some fun. Go dancing.
Yeah. For me, dancing is definitely one of my favorite things to do. And being heavier makes it harder to do. So that's motivation to kind of get rid of some of the excess weight. And you mentioned that you just listen to your body. That's been a major thing for me. Listening to the subtle cues that my body gives me that I've got to change something. And what a lot of us will do is see or get that signal from the body and then go get medication to cover it up and suppress it. And eventually you just pile up medication over medication over medication. And your body is just a slave to medication after a while. So
Absolutely.
Like you said, it's really important to just listen to our bodies.
And then not go get the meds. Then figure out some modalities that are natural that are going to cure that and not just treat symptoms.
Right.
And that takes time. And people want instantaneous cures, instantaneous everything. And the body didn't get sick instantaneously, and so it's going to take some time for it to heal itself too.
Exactly. And medicines can be a quick fix. But I think the slower you fix something or the slower you make changes, the more long-lasting they can be.
Absolutely.
So implementing natural remedies and modalities is an excellent way to make it a permanent change in your life. To slowly do it is a way to make it a permanent change. So we're going to wrap up. Before we go, though, I want you to share with the listeners 3 actionable tips that they can take from this podcast, things that they can implement right away that you've seen work for some of your clients.
Get on the Soleil. That's the first thing I would recommend. Get on that Soleil, the Himalayan pink salt with alkaline water. You're going to get energy, I kid you not. Second thing I would recommend, reduce your consumption of fast food. Get away from it as quickly as you can, because it is not healthy for you.
So just cooking at home is a good first step.
Absolutely. Get more fruits and veggies in you, especially your leafy greens. Those are so important. I know you said 3, just one more tip, because this is a superfood. start doing chia seeds, those little bitty seeds. You find them in the healthy living section at HEB, or that you can get them at Whole Foods. Those little seeds, oh my God, they have like 8 times the calcium than milk.
Wow.
They're awesome. When you look up the health benefits of them, you want to get them in you. The other thing that they're good for, they suppress your hunger pains. Because you get the nutrients in you that you need. When your body gets the nutrients it needs, it feels satisfied. You don't have hunger pains. When we eat the fast food and eat foods that don't have the nutrients in it and the minerals in it, we feel full, our stomach is full, but we're still craving, and that's why people overeat, because the body still needs those nutrients. When it gets it, it's happy. And those chia seeds, in addition to all the wonderful nutrients they have, they make you feel full. And that's one of the things that helped that lady lose 12 pounds in 1 week. And she was not starving, and she did eat food.
Awesome. So I shop at Costco, and I didn't know that Costco was so great about having organic foods and conveniently packaging health foods. And I recently came across these little chia seed packets, like flavored with berries. They don't have to be refrigerated right away, but they taste better when they're cold. And I just pop one in the refrigerator, take it as my breakfast, and I would take other stuff and not want it after I had the chia seed package. So
now you know why.
I can attest to what you're saying about it helping with the appetite. So I'm gonna definitely restock on those.
And I do those every day.
Chia seeds every day. And how do you do them? Do you put them in a smoothie or?
You can put them in smoothies. I put them in my alkaline water in the morning. And I put chlorophyll in there. And that's something people can work up to, but that chlorophyll cleanses your blood. And so I just have my go-tos that I do every day for prevention. Those are my meds, my natural meds to prevent stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Lucy. I feel like we could do a whole other episode on nutrition, and maybe we will.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, and thank you for listening, guys. Like I said, I'll include all of Dr. Lucy's information in the show notes so that you can find out more about where she is, what she does, and how you can get in touch with her. Thanks for listening.